Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Big Idea podcast. We have a very special guest on today, Brad Hartsell. And Brad does not suffer from shyness. So without further ado, Brad, tell these nice folks who you are and what you do. And thank you so much for joining myself and Mr. Silman and Mr. Larkin. We welcome you.
Well, first off, gentlemen, thank you to Mike, Gary, and Larry for inviting me on today. I have been watching the Big Idea podcast myself for a while now. I had a chance to talk to Gary. We decided to connect and talk a little bit. And, we just shared some of the same visions. And, no cliche intended there, but I work for Vision Dealer Solutions. So we are a menu software company. We are based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I would call us more than a menu solution for dealerships and RV companies and motorsports and everything out there. We really do a lot more than that, and we are continuing to be intuitive, change with the market. We don't want to be stagnant in the market, and it's just something that I'm passionate about. It's the car business. I've been in it for 25 years, but not really on this side of the fence. I worked in dealerships for 25 plus years. So I see things through a little bit of a different paradigm than what most software providers do. And so my role here is the VP of Sales for Vision. And it's just been a really exciting time here and kind of the things we're doing and where we're going. So thanks for having me on.
Brad, I'm thrilled to have you on. So I watched your podcast with Jason Harris when you were in the back of the car. And that's when I said, I gotta talk to this guy. He knows what's going on. But I really can say, I think I started using Vision back in like 2010. Mm-hmm. So I had just left Zurich, and I needed a menu and I needed a report. And back then, it was beautiful then, because when it's easy to train on, and you had a couple of good trainers that were really good, and they were ex F&I. And so they would help me do, because most of the F&I guys, they're running all over the place. You need somebody to say, settle down, find some time, and we're going to learn, and then it's going to make your life so much easier. Mm-hmm. So today, I still have a couple of stores that are using it, not as many as I had. The reporting is perfect. The security is perfect. And what I really like, and I want you to talk about this, is the remote benefit that the customer can be sitting anywhere they are as long as they have a cell signal. So can you kind of elaborate on where do you see the traction building? And we know we have dealers that are far ahead and there's dealers that are behind, but let's talk about the core, because I see you as the...
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. First thing I want to mention is that, back in 2010, you said you love the support that you got. Well, that's one of our standards here at Vision Dealer Solutions is that our support, right? We've got to be able to onboard, install our product, and then maintain continuous training. And that's something that we do exceptionally well, better than anybody in the market. I was listening to 6 or 7 training sessions today, right? But you mentioned remote, right? And you talk about where's business going. Excuse me, back in COVID, right, remote kind of made this big push, right, because people couldn't get into stores. They had to figure out a way to still sell cars, and so remote made a big push. But after COVID, right, it came into 21, 22, 23, everybody's kind of not focused on it because they're trying to drive their people back into stores. Now, in the past probably about year, we've seen a huge shift back to remote, because what people found out is that they liked buying a car that way. Right? And for most customers, they don't want to be held to a certain standard of how they have to buy a car. They want to buy that car the way that they want to. And so we do have a remote mirror tool that is absolutely a beautiful tool. What it does, and the biggest differentiator that Vision Dealer Solutions does, is that it's the same interaction with a one-column menu that they get at the store. right? So a lot of dealerships, what we found are so afraid to do remote deliveries or remote presentations because they feel that they lose that opportunity to sell their warranty, sell their gaps, sell all of their auxiliary products. But with the Vision Dealer Solutions tool, what it's offered is it's offered the same presentation, the same way, no matter where the customer is. They could be sitting in the Taco Bell drive-thru, right? Getting their tostada or getting whatever they want, and they bought a car, and they can have that same presentation brought up right on their phone. They can interact with the menu. They can interact with the business manager who can walk and guide them through the presentation just over the phone. It clicks and syncs with the business manager who's doing the presentation so that no opportunities are missed regardless of where they're at. And that's what makes it so beautiful.
Yeah. Back then, you had it. I remember in the mid 2015, 2016, we were able to do it. Yeah. And it's just, and I got frustrated where it's like, look it, I'm giving you the opportunity to sell on the customer's phone. And that's where they want to be. And it's just our industry takes so long to adapt and to move. But the exciting part now is, as you said, the turn is going in the right direction. And yeah. The dealers that add programs like yourself, it solves the problem that I talk about of connecting the unconnected. When you have vision in that store, you get your reporting first thing in the morning so everybody knows where the numbers are. The F&I managers can rate multiple different providers. They don't have, he can have 7, and it's all in one unit. And yeah. Now what we talked about for years is that the accept and decline on your menu is now your defense in court if anyone wants to come in and try to have a frivolous lawsuit against you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is our process. These are our products. This is how we do it, and we don't deviate. And if no agency can come in and take advantage of the dealer if they have one of these situations, they have this menu.
Yeah, well, you said it yourself, right? Compliance is one of the foremost standards that we want to follow, right? Not only do we want to be compliant, we want all of our dealer partners to be compliant as well, too. And one of the things that we did recently, we had our new software launch on May 4th. It's a brand new user interface, tons of customizations. Our menu is more customizable than any menu that's on the market as well, too.
Agreed.
Not only that, we also now offer the batch signing, right? A dealer can choose to do batch signing, or they can sign the forms individually still, just like they've always done. But we waited a little bit longer than most other menu software providers on that because we wanted to make sure that we were compliant. Right? And so it was really important that we made sure all of our I's were dotted and T's were crossed, not for us, but for our dealer partners. And when you look at the stuff that's out there, you said integrations, right? Vision Dealer Solutions, they are connected directly to their providers 90% of the time, right? And we don't try to go through Penn or F&I Express if we don't have to. Right? We want to speed up the process for our dealer. We want the business manager to get that customer into the office as soon as possible because speed is the new gross, right? How many times on CSI does it come up that they said, how was your wait for F&I? And the dealership's getting tanked because of that, because, their menu's gone down by their other provider, or there's an outage, or there's this or that. And quite frankly, Vision Dealer Solutions just doesn't go down. Right? So we're also a reliable platform as well that dealers can depend on.
That's awesome.
First of all, Brad, thank you for the time. And I love Tostitos. That's my Mexican-American Irishness coming out.
Okay, fair enough.
My nickname is Pancho Monkey. Don't laugh, Larry. I've been following this. I'm now no way an expert, but what is the most pressing on dealerships that you find that you're able to kind of see the light bulb go off? Is it compliance, or certainly if they've been fined, it's compliance?
Yeah,
what do you see?
Yeah, Mike, I would agree. Compliance obviously is a big tool of it, but I think what dealerships are experiencing right now is F&I consistency, Okay, and what I mean by that is you could have 10 dealerships that are owned by the same group that present F&I menus 10 different ways, right? And that's something that our menu does, right? They don't have a process problem, they have an execution problem is what they have. And that's some of the things that Vision Dealer Solutions has tried to do recently. We are now offering the first of its kind, optional though, AI-driven menu platform, right? So what it does is it takes the guesswork, that gut feeling from that business manager. I remember sitting back in the office back in the early 2000s, late 90s, right? And it was the gut feeling. You'd go to your desk manager or you'd go to the salesperson. Hey, you know what? They think they want to buy a warranty, right? That's the old MO on it when you were doing it.
Give me the 30-second skinny before I take them.
Right. So tell me that they're not going to buy something before I give them the opportunity to buy it, right? That's what I call it, right? And don't get me started on customer interviews. But going on to that, Mike, right, what I talk about with that is that this AI that we use, it looks at 13 data points and compares those 13 data points to over the 1 million plus historical deals that are found in Vision Dealer Solutions. And what it does is it takes the products that are most likely to be purchased based upon similar deal structure, demographics, they finance, cash, lease, what type of vehicle are they buying, and where do they live, right? We look at longitude and latitude as well too, Mike. And then we give the customer a consistent presentation based upon that. Not only that, it's quick as could be, it rates as quick as can be, right? And then they have an option to go in front of the customers and say, hey, this is what was recommended for you. Look at the way that people buy things today. Look at the world of Amazon. Right? It's changed the commerce buying behavior that exists today, right? People don't want to be told what to buy, right? They want to choose what to buy. And so we see presentations becoming more of a guided experience, right? Another sticking point, Mike, that I'll talk about is reporting, okay? Reporting to me has been really kind of the gold standard or something that we wanted to focus on, and Gary mentioned it himself. So one thing that I always struggled with, right, and when I was at the dealership level and with F&I is the owner could be on his boat in Cabo, right, or his yacht, not his boat, and he would talk about it, and, he'd call me up and say, hey, I can't read this report that you sent me, or I can't see it. And I'm like, why? He goes, because I can't look at it on my phone, right? I'm pinching and I'm zooming and I'm trying to zoom out. We just released, right, the first ever where every reporting metric now is compatible and transfers seamlessly to any device. Nice. And you want to talk about huge, right? I mean, we've got providers out there that are just falling over backwards for this, for the simple fact of the reporting being as beautiful as it is, the cost savings that it is compared to the other major providers that are out there. It's time that people start looking and thinking to themselves, is the one that's heavy in the market, are they the best option anymore? And a lot of times it's not, because there are better options at a better value as well too.
Right. Darwin came out, I don't know how long ago, but when they first started with their interview process or their pre, it worked like magic in a Subaru store. The Subaru buyer loved it, but I don't hear much of it anymore. So I don't know if it was the cost at Darwin, but at one point that they were saying it, and I agree with you when it comes to the interview, there's mixed views on the process. And I don't care what anyone says. A pre-interview where you get to meet and greet the customer and talk to them and find out what's important to them is so valuable. And
it's just on a remote, particularly on a remote, Brad.
So well, and hey, here's the great question, right? Our interview questions can be sent to anybody at any time, no matter where they're at. And here's the cool thing, right? So Darwin's questions, right? Darwin, great company. Don't have anything bad to say about them. But Darwin's questions, right, they're all scripted, right? They're all the same.
How many miles? How many years you're going to keep it?
Our questionnaire is fully changeable by the dealer. They can have those questions be whatever they want them to be. And they could put brochures in there as they're going through the questionnaires, videos in there as they're going through the questionnaires, so that the provider and the agents are able to showcase their products as well too. But not only that, going and looping back into AI, we are currently developing a weight structure based upon the questions that are asked for the dealer as well too. right? So that the AI becomes even smarter as we're going along, and it's just going to become an invaluable tool that is pretty much just going to, it is what it is, right? Here's what the customer is saying they're wanting. And here's what I will tell you. We are not a menu software company that's not the same 10 years ago. Right? There are menu software companies out there that have looked the same, felt the same, behaved the same for the past 10 years. We are not that menu company. Okay, we don't want to be stagnant. We want to continue to grow with our partners, grow with our dealers, and form strategic partnerships that make the dealer body a better place to do business.
It's so funny that you say all this. When I started, I met Ron, and I loved the product from the beginning. And then a few years ago, I was on YouTube, and I saw some of Ron's old F&I training videos.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff
much younger, Gary, much younger videos. He's not here today, so I can say that. So,
yeah. But what I enjoyed is that some of these modules that he did could be today. It could be. It's the same. It's still. We've got all these tools and all these things, but the process is still. The customer has to trust the dealership and trust the people. And so if it's not on a video, they got to be in the dealership. I mean, it's just so much more that the tools are amazing. I mean, everyone thinks now that I'm a genius with my posts. My posts, if I didn't have ChatGPT, I wouldn't know what to do. So
AI is our best friend, Gary. There's
so
no
AI is our best friend. And the more that we can utilize AI to do the tasks that we don't want to do or we're not good at, and focus on the things that we're good at, talking to people, helping them protect.
Gary, you're exactly right. So here's the thing, right? I don't want to replace a business manager. Business managers are the most important thing that exists to me in my world, right? We want the AI to support them.
Correct.
Right? We don't need more tools in F&I, right? We need smarter tools in F&I. That's what we need.
I've always liked your product.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
Pain points. Well,
Larry, you're muted there, Larry.
I'm sorry, I had to take a call. I just like the fact that it's flexible. I never understood of having a cookie cutter script. Everybody's different, and you got to be reflexive when you hear what somebody says. So I really like the fact that it's going to be more individualistic, and it's not going to sound like a robot reading something.
Yeah. We that's what we want to do. We don't want the dealership to have to adapt to the software. We want the software to adapt to the dealership, right? That's the big difference and the big differentiator where some gaps and deficiencies in the dealership world and the menu software world exist right now. We want to be able to have the ability for a business manager to have as much customization and feel for the menu, right? When you get to our rating system, right, and the manager is deciding, right, you're not locked into having one type of warranty all the way across. You can mix and match whatever way that you want to. You want a powertrain, you want a tire and wheel, you want it's endless the amount of mix and matching that you can do. We don't want to handcuff a dealer the way they want to do business, right? We're not the ones selling the product. It's them selling their product. We want to assist them is what we want to do. And so, giving them the customization, right, and give them the free flow and flexibility to do the business the way they want to do, Larry, it's invaluable.
Dealers need choices, and customers want choices.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can see when you look at, like today, I was talking about the way people want to buy today, right? They don't want, like I said, they don't want to be sold on it, right? But they want their choices, right? What can I get? What can I do? How does it look if I buy this? What is my payment if I do this? All of that's available in real time now. You talk about remote, right, Gary? And we are everything that we do, it can go to a tablet, right? And that tablet, once it goes into the customer's hand, never has to leave it until the signing is over. If the business manager needs to make a change, he makes it from his. Customer doesn't know, right? But it's so inconvenient when I've been in an office and they grab that tablet back from the customer to make a change and then hand it back to them. The level of trust is broken, right? Our new software is designed so that also a manager doesn't have to go to 37,000 different screens during the process, right? Simplicity. right? We talk about simplicity. We don't want to make things more difficult. We want to make the life easier on the F&I manager.
Brad, I want to kind of shift that. Thank you. I want to shift a second.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the independent used car dealer.
Yeah.
In the independent used car dealer, I've been attempting, not with great success, is to bring them a very simple menu that they can use that can connect all of their tools. So I would like for you to kind of give me some recommendations or talk to the people who are independent dealers that may be watching and saying that you can't continue to just use these bolted on systems.
Yeah.
So if you can chat about that, I'd appreciate it.
I certainly will. You know, we're going to be heading out to NAADA. Shout out to them this year. Because we recognize at Vision how important this space is as well too, Gary, right? You look back about 10, 15 years ago into the new car franchises, right? What did the menu really do for the new car franchises? What it did is it allowed for more things and more options to be sold to the consumer is what it did. And I think really right there is that we're at that point, that pivotal point to where now independent dealers need to have that same option, another revenue gross producing source, right? Look, most independents, they'll sell a warranty and gap, right? But they don't offer tire and wheel, right? They don't offer dent and ding, key replacement, crystallized windshield protection, or whatever other auxiliary items are available to the public out there. And why? Well, it's tough to just talk about those things or just lay out an old school paper menu and be like, well, we got this, this, and this. Right? The menu offered that catapult into that realm. And that is where we're at with the independent space. Now, what we're trying to do and shore up here at Vision Dealer Solutions is we're trying to shore up the integrations, right? Because a lot of the DMS systems out there that exist in the independent space are very cost affordable. Right? You got your Wayne Reeves, your Frasers and stuff out there that are super good programs for those independents, but they don't offer a lot of the flexibility that your major DMS providers provide through integrations. And
everybody in my market is using this tool called Auto Funds, and it doesn't connect to anything.
And it won't. Why? Because integrations aren't cheap and they're very difficult. Right. And that's one way is for an independent dealer, you know, their expense structure is way different than what a franchise dealership is. But we are trying to bridge that gap, right? Talk about creating web browser opportunities to bridge information into a menu. But I can tell you this too, with Vision Dealer Solutions, we don't need a DMS for them to operate, Gary.
That's where I've been using you. That's where I've been using you is you become the connective tissue in the whole organization, and then everything has to feed through that, and that's how I organize.
Yeah. So we don't need those connections to operate right today, right? We want to make it simpler, right? That's what we're trying to do, right? So that obviously we want to be able to expand our outreach and distribution strategy to as many dealers as possible. But any dealer that's in the market, whether they're an independent dealer, an RV dealer, or motorsports dealers, we have our menu can be used no matter where they're at in their process or what systems they're using. They can simply just input their information. It's a really quick process because we also have a lot of tools to decode and to rate and to do all of those other things as well too. And instead of them living in 2007, they can live in 2026 where they can really wow their customers, because it doesn't matter who the customer is, or I should say what they're buying or where they're buying it at, right? It's still a customer, and customers still look for a solution for them that is modern and feels good to them, right? When you go into somewhere and they're presenting paper products everywhere and they're drawing, you know, I can remember drawing the old gap graph, right? Drawing it here, this is where you meet and all of that stuff. People still want a modern experience, right? And I think independents, we're at that verge where it's time to really, really dive into that market and let them explode the same way that new vehicle franchise did with their PVRs. And I think that's why independent PVRs lag well behind franchise PVRs, is because of this process.
Well, I look at this is that with your services, it solves what I like to say is F&I anywhere. Wherever their customer is, whatever F&I. I mean, because you got ag, you've got RV, you got power sports. I mean, anything has an opportunity for you to be able to sit and communicate with the customer on a video or in the showroom and explain to them all the options. The service drive is where I see a huge opportunity that's coming. And your menu offers tools and things like that. So, wow.
Gary, you mentioned something funny. We're always working on things in the background, and obviously I'm not at liberty to talk about it, but we believe the service drive is a whole new revenue market for the warranty world, and that is stuff that working on.
There's gold in them hills.
Yeah, there's gold in those hills, right? Go over and get to the west, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, but, that's cool.
Yeah. It's funny. I heard the story of the gold rush, and you're not looking for gold. You have the shovels.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, right? We know where the gold's at. We got the shovel. We just need to go dig it now, right?
We need some labor. We need labor. And that's where
it all goes together. Yeah.
Hey, this was awesome. Hey, Brad, I knew I was going to be happy to have you on here. I know that we're going to have you back on in the future.
Yeah.
We like to keep these things rounded because we're fortunate that we have dealers and people watching. So I think that we got a lot of good stuff from you today.
Yeah,
so we really appreciate it. I look forward to spending more time and learning about your tools that you have. I've always been a fan of Vision. And there's Abdul.
Yeah, keep on digging.
Abdul's digging.
Yeah.
So, Lair, Mike, any last comments?
It was a pleasure having you on, Brad. It sounds like you've got a really strong solution for dealers, whether they be new car, used, whatever.
Yeah, I really feel we do, right? And, like I said, working on the dealership side and coming back, and I had a choice to where I wanted to go work this time around. And I chose Vision for all of the reasons that we just spoke about. But I offer anybody, they can visit our website, Gary, Mike, or Larry, at www.visiondealersolutions.com. My email address is also scrolling at the bottom. If anybody has any questions, you're looking to go fully digital, stop spending money on paper, you just send me an email. My cell phone number's there, right? Hey, leave me a message if I'm not free. Shoot me a text. Tell me what you're looking for. Man, I am available at any time. Like I said, I lived in the car business. I don't have an off day, right? That's just what I know.
Well, Brad, you can steal this from me.
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
You answered the phone. You answered text. I answer smoke signals. So thank you for visiting us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. And Gary, we'll stay in touch, and then I look forward to my next visit with you guys. And guys, we could talk about anything. So I'm full spectrum.
It's great. It's awesome. It was great having you, Brad. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll talk
later.
Bye. See ya.